The child who stayed beside me wasn't the one I loved the most. She was simply the one I noticed the least. I didn't understand that truth until she quietly placed one old suitcase by the front door and said, "Mom, don't wait for me this time." I was 74 years old when I finally realized that the loudest child isn't always the one who needs you, and the quietest child often carries the heaviest heart. If you stay with me, I'll tell you why one ordinary Tuesday destroyed 30 years of excuses, and why I still keep that empty bedroom exactly as she left it. People often praised me for raising such successful daughters. Maybe they were right. Emily became a lawyer in Chicago. Sarah built a medical practice in Denver. And my youngest, Hannah. She stayed in our little town. Everyone assumed she simply lacked ambition. I believe that too. My husband died when the girls were teenagers. I worked at the town library for 28 years, earning just enough to keep the lights on. Emily and Sarah earned scholarships and left as soon as they could. Hannah never did. She worked at the local grocery store after high school. Then at a flower shop. Then at the nursing home. Whenever I asked why she never moved away, she'd smile. "Someone should stay close to you." I thought she meant she had nowhere else to go. I never considered that she had chosen me. Every Christmas the family gathered at my house. Emily arrived with expensive gifts. Sarah brought stories about conferences and vacations. Everyone crowded around them. "Tell us about the city. How many surgeries did you perform this year? What country are you visiting next?" Meanwhile, Hannah quietly carved the turkey, refilled everyone's drinks, wrapped leftovers before anyone asked. At the end of every holiday, I'd hug Emily and Sarah tightly. "We're so proud of you." Then I'd kiss Hannah on the forehead. "Thank you for helping clean up." It sounded harmless. It wasn't. Years passed that way. Emily sent money whenever something broke. Sarah paid for my new roof. Hannah came every Wednesday evening. She changed light bulbs, took me grocery shopping, drove me to doctor's appointments, cleaned the gutters, fixed the leaky faucet after watching a video online. I thanked her every time. The way people thank a neighbor. Not the way a mother thanks the child who quietly gives away her own life. One rainy October afternoon, I overheard two women talking outside the pharmacy. "You're lucky," one said. "All three of your daughters take such good care of you." I smiled proudly. When I told Hannah later that evening, she laughed softly. "Yeah." That was all she said. I wish I had asked why her smile looked so tired. 3 months later, Emily called. "Mom, I'm being honored by the State Bar Association." Sarah called the next day. "I've been promoted." I spent an entire week telling everyone at church. Then Wednesday came. Hannah arrived as always. She quietly replaced the batteries in my smoke detector. She organized my medicine cabinet. She fixed the loose step outside the porch. As she was leaving, I handed her a leftover pie. "You've always been such a good helper." She froze. Just for a second. Then she nodded. "Good night, Mom." I didn't realize those 4 words would haunt me. The following Tuesday she didn't come. I wasn't worried. She'd probably caught a cold. Wednesday passed. Then Thursday. I called her. No answer. Friday morning I drove to her little apartment for the first time in years. The parking space was empty. A neighbor recognized me. "Oh. You didn't know?" My stomach tightened. "Know what?" She moved. I stared at him. "Moved where?" He shrugged. Somewhere near the coast, I think. She got a job managing a botanical garden. A few weeks ago. A few weeks? He looked confused. She said she'd already told her family. I drove home shaking. On my porch sat a small cardboard box. Inside were my spare house key, a family photo, and an envelope with my name. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was one handwritten page. Mom, I stayed because I loved you, not because I had nowhere else to go. But somewhere along the way, I became the daughter who was useful instead of the daughter who was seen. I don't blame you. I helped create that role by never complaining. I'm 51 years old now. If I don't choose my own life today, I never will. I hope one day you'll visit, not because you need me to fix something, but because you simply want to know me. Love always. Hannah. I read it 6 times. Then I noticed something I had never seen before. The envelope was stained. Not with coffee. With tears. Mine. A week later, Emily and Sarah rushed home. They were furious. She should have told us. How could she leave like this? I quietly placed Hannah's letter on the kitchen table. Neither of them spoke after reading it. Finally, Sarah whispered. She took care of all of us. Emily nodded slowly. And none of us noticed. The room became painfully silent. Especially for me. 2 months later, I drove 7 hours to the coastal town where Hannah now lived. I found the botanical garden just before closing. She was kneeling beside a bed of white roses with dirt on her gloves and sunlight in her hair. She looked happy. Healthier than I'd seen her in years. She noticed me but didn't run. She simply walked over. Neither of us spoke at first. Then I said the hardest sentence of my life. I know what you've done for me. She looked down. I continued. No. I finally know who you are. She burst into tears. So did I. We sat on a wooden bench until sunset without trying to erase the lost years with too many words. Some wounds deserve honesty before forgiveness. Since then, I visit every 3 months. Sometimes we plant flowers. Sometimes we drink coffee without talking. Sometimes I ask questions I should have asked decades ago. What did you dream about when you were 20? What made you stay? What made you leave? Every answer teaches me something about the daughter I never truly saw. I'm 80 years old now. People still tell me how fortunate I am to have 3 wonderful daughters. They're right. But they don't know the lesson I learned too late. The child who asks for the least often gives the most. The one who stays isn't always the one who has nowhere to go. Sometimes. She's simply waiting for someone to notice that she matters too. If one person in your family is always available, always helping, always saying, it's okay. Don't thank them only for what they do. Ask them who they are. Before they have to leave. To find the life they quietly postponed for you.